Let's get right into it with Ryan Breton. Marathon of the day, timing out the rest of this storm for us.
Absolutely. It's funny, Bailey. I think we were chatting earlier, and most people, not just you, being new to a Maine winter.
That's nice, but
a lot of people weren't aware that a blizzard isn't about the amount of snow.
Okay.
It's about the snow falling, being whipped by the wind, cutting down what you can see.
Yeah.
And we hit an official blizzard today from Portland down to the seacoast to New Hampshire, and many other places up and down the coast had blizzard conditions. I'm sure if we had the observations out of down East Maine, it would be an official blizzard there. Maybe we'll hear from the Weather Service in Caribou once the storm is said and done. They kind of compile these things, even though we can look through the hourly numbers too. The nice thing about this map is if you were with us most of the day up until about 3 o'clock, the visibilities over southern and coastal Maine were a quarter mile to a half mile at best. That has all improved. Even though there is still snow out there, it's coming in at a lesser intensity for the most part, and the winds have come down. So that's really improved things in a big way. There is one burst of snow over the mid-coast, which if you saw Brianna Bush a half hour ago, wind was whipping in Belfast, and that's moving west toward Damariscotta Lake, and it may make it to Gardner and Augusta if it keeps going west. Eastern Maine, it's been impressive down on the coast. Jonesboro, Roque Bluffs, just south of Machias, a foot of snow there. And that band that delivered that is now moving north. So Calais, Topsfield, you'll be up next. In Bangor, the rate may pick up a little bit, but you won't get into real heavy snow in Bangor. We're well below freezing, and there still is wind out there, so there's blowing and drifting of this snow. But the winds have come down considerably despite the fact it is still quite gusty. There's the center of the storm, and if it were 50 to 75 miles closer, this would have been much more of a Maine snowstorm instead of just really a big southern New England snowstorm. Just was a little too outside to bring us that. So by 8 o'clock, the steadiest snow generally in the eastern half of the state. There still can be some snow showers to the south, but I think things are improving here. You're just going to have to deal with the blowing and drifting of the snow if you're going to be out cleaning this stuff up. There's a look at what can fall on top of what's already out there. I think in that light blue, Bailey, we are pretty much wrapped up. We're going to send it outside, a check on conditions, and Alan, you and I were chatting. The positive thing about this snow event is that it wasn't that wet and heavy snow, which would have caused big problems.
Yeah, it's not sticking to things. You can't really, pick it up and make a snowball very effectively because the moisture content in the snow is a bit lower. Friday nights, for comparison, had the sweet spot of the correct amount of moisture to really easily make some snowballs. So the other side of that, with this snow being a little bit drier, is that it's able to blow around pretty easily and efficiently with the gusty winds that are accompanying the snow. It's not terribly windy right now. I think we've got the radar imagery on Max 2 if we can pull that up, because I saw something interesting with some of the reports and what I'm seeing right now outside in downtown Portland, where it's snowing lightly, but where Bree was out in Belfast, that snow band there had a lot more wind with it, and this is synonymous to what we would see in something like tropical banding. If there were the outer bands of a storm, within those bands you get much higher wind gusts, and that's what we're seeing play out with the snow that is currently falling. So in that Belfast area, now probably into the mid-coast too, there are going to be some gustier winds within these bands of snow. You just heard Ryan talk about how it's still pretty heavy in down East Maine, so the wind is also a bit heavier there, stronger winds. Again, out here on the weather deck, snow is still coming down. It's not coming down at a very fast clip, and it's pretty light. So we'll have more info here in a few minutes. Bailey?
All right, Alan, we'll see you later on. Thank you.